Hello people, today I'd like to talk about urban EDC and minimalist urban EDC, and that's basically for people who live in towns and cities. I see a lot of videos on YouTube regarding what people carry as their everyday carry and why they carry such items. Now in front of me I've got a small selection of things I regularly see in people's EDC that they say that they carry every single day and they can't live without. But I'm going to compare it to my EDC and why I like my EDC, and I hope it's a bit sort of light-hearted, because I don't mean to offend anybody in this, because it certainly doesn't mean to cause any offence. But in front of me I've got a blade that people say that they carry all the time, which is the Spyderco UK PK. Now I really like this blade, but as far as my EDC rotation goes, it doesn't get a look in. It just doesn't. I might use it now and again around the house, but it never gets used. And I see people carrying big bulky torches. I mean, this torch is just an example. This is a shite torch basically. It is crap, but I'm just using it for like sort of a size example of what people would carry. Then we get to like things like, oh, I've got to carry a pry bar. They really come in handy, these pry bars. I need it. I might need to pry a nail up or something like that. Bollocks, you don't need anything like that. I certainly don't. Now, I do live in a town, but I originally come from the country, and I can't think of a time I would need a shitty little piece of steel like that. And next we've got like these little multi-tools like the Gerberdime. Fair enough, these are sort of quite useful, and yeah, they are quite useful. I'll give that one to you. Then next there's a pen. This isn't a very special pen, it's just a pen. And we have a notebook. It's just a regular size notebook, right? Now, oh yeah, people carry the phones as well, and like the keys, and you telling me you carry all this shit with you every day? Why? You don't need that. It's supposed to be urban EDC. It's supposed to be minimalist. You know, I can't think of a time I would ever need a pen and a notepad. It could come in handy someday, but I can't think of a time I'd actually need one. If I need a pen, if I'm out somewhere, I'll go and buy a cheap shitty Bic pen or something like that. Or if I'm in a pub, I'll just be behind the bar and I'll borrow a pen, and I'll write on the back of a beer mat. It's like no big deal. But this shit fills up your pockets, and you can't get away from that. See, why would you need like a multi-tool, a blade, and like things like a pry bar and a torch with you all the time? And it's not like they're small, they're actually quite big. So this is where my EDC comes in, my urban EDC. So I'm going to get rid of all that to one side, because I don't carry any of that. Now, my EDC, which is on me every single day, 7 days a week, is this little chap. It is a Victorinox Airlocks Mini Champ, and this goes everywhere with me, and I mean everywhere. It's in my pocket all the time. And basically it has everything you could possibly want. It's got 2 blades on there, it's got a screwdriver, it's got a bottle opener, it's got a nail file, it's got a pair of scissors, it's got a screwdriver. That's in my pocket all the time. I sometimes swap it for this one, say if I'm going to the pub or something, and you know you needed a pen. I've got a pen in here. Hey up. Now that's minimalist. These 2 items here are minimalist items. The next thing I carry, which I do rotate, is a Swiss Army knife. That one is the Airlox Pioneer. And depending on where I am, I'll either carry the Pioneer or I'll carry the Cadet because it's a bit more slimline and it's a bit smaller, or I'll even rotate with your average Swiss Army knife. So either way, I've only either got those 2 together or these 2 together at any one time. And that's any one time. And the next item I have is obviously my phone, which I'm using to record this on, so I can't show you that. That sits in my left jean pocket every single day. The next is my bad motherfucker, which has my money and my cards and that in. Then the other item I'll carry is my keys. Now on here I have got a little mini flashlight, and I tell you what, it's a Nightcore tube, and it's the best mini flashlight you can get. I've got a couple of these, they're brilliant, but that is on my keys all the time. Now my keys, I carry a little Swiss Army Classic SD, which is fantastic. If ever I forget that, I've got that. And I carry a little Spyderco Bug, which in all fairness, I don't really need it, I just like it. So if I was to get rid of anything, that'd go off my key ring, and I'd literally be left with that, because obviously it's got your toothpick and your tweezers and that. So basically, if I'll just take these away for a second, that plus my phone is my everyday carry. And I don't need anything more than that. I'm just going to get my keys off shot because I don't want some scallies to try and memorise what my keys look like. So look, these are the only 2 tools I carry every day. And that's a true minimalist urban EDC. Now, I'm just going to show you something else. Right, because I think this whole carrying loads of stuff every single day in preparation for the zombie apocalypse or whatever's going to happen, yeah, it's not going to work in an urban environment, because at the end of the day, when the apocalypse does happen, there's going to be nobody left, right? And if you're stuck in a town, your natural human survival instinct's going to kick in, and you know the first thing you're going to do? You're going to go and loot a shop or something. You're going to break into a shop and you're going to loot a shop, and you're going to eat and you're going to be able to drink what you want. Yeah, unless the shop's destroyed, there'll be somewhere where you can go and get some food and things like that. So you don't really need to worry about carrying loads of stuff with you in an urban environment in case something happens and you might need to trap a rabbit on a common green or something like that. It's just not going to happen. It's just taking it. It's taking it too far. I use these 2 items every day, right? For one thing or another. Like people go on about pry bars. If you're familiar with the Swiss Army knife, they've got quite a sturdy bottle opener, which you can use as a pry bar. Oh, but people will carry separate bottle openers and pry bars. This has got everything on it that you need. Now, another thing I'll talk about before I move on is what's more friendly to the eye, that or a regular Swiss Army knife? Or are you going to be in public and you need a blade and you're going to flash that? I'll tell you what I'd rather see one of these. If I saw somebody flashing one of them, even though it is UK legal, I'd be thinking, why does he need to carry something like that? That's very, very aggressive. Everybody knows what a Swiss Army knife looks like. They're a part of history. Everybody knows what they look like, and nobody would bat an eyelid if you pulled one of them out in public. If you need to do so. I pulled this out in the shop the other week because our lass wanted, you know, when you get the free wallpaper, you can take a sample. I need to cut a piece of wallpaper off and I just use that. I don't need something like that. What do I need that for in an urban environment? But anyway, I'm going to conclude this video in a minute because it's just my opinion. But I want to show you what my granddad used to use. And he actually lived in the countryside. He lived in a small village in North Yorkshire. That was my granddad's EDC. Every day that would be on him, and only that. And this little pocket knife here, it's skinned rabbits, he's made willow whistles out of it, he's whittled with it. This knife will be about 70 years old, and that's all you ever needed. So if you're going to survive, you will survive, and if you've got the instinct to survive, you will survive without any of all this shit. So let's just bear it in mind, people, because as much as I'm interested in seeing other people's EDCs and things like that, and I honestly do find it quite interesting what people carry. It does give me the odd idea now and again. There's something I might like to carry, but at the end of the day, all I'm going to go back to is that, and that, because that's all I'm ever going to need. And the chances are it's probably all you'll ever need as well. So big up to the Victorinox crew who rock these Swiss Army knives. Peace out, people.